Today is the 21st. I'm sorry, today's the 22nd. 9/22. Today we are going over writing equations. Writing equations. We're on page 6. At least that's what I'm on. Okay, when you open up to your page, so again, if you have printed out, if you have accessibility to a printer, and you have printed out the little thing I told y'all to print out, awesome, great, good job. It should look like this. Alright, so we should have cut it down so that we can glue it into our notebook. So we're going to title this next page, we're working again on writing equations. I'm on page 6, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this, I'm going to grab my glue stick, alright, and I'm going to put glue on it, and then it's going to be glued into my notebook. That way I will have it forever and ever and ever. It will stay in there and I don't have to worry about losing it. Alright, so I'm just going to glue it in there like so. Boom. Now, a few things we're going to go over first. Alright, so what I like to do is we're going to talk about words that we're going to see for certain operations. So for example, we know to put an equal sign, okay, if I see these words. And the other thing is we're going to box in these words. And that means that if I see a box, that's an operation, right? In this case, if we're going to put an equal sign, then we're going to see words such as equals. Alright, we're going to see words such as equivalent. Equivalent also means to put an equal sign. Alright, we're going to see words such as the same. So those of you just joining, what I'm doing is this is something I emailed out to y'all this morning. It's on Google Classroom under resources. You need to print it out. Alright, if you have accessibility to a printer. If you don't, that's fine. Just copy along with what I'm doing. You have equals, equivalent, the same, congruent. So these are all words that if we see them, we need to box them in. And that tells me that I need to put an equal sign there. And then is. Is the last word. So if we see equals, equivalent, the same, congruent, or is, we know that that means equal sign. Okay, coming down here, all these words here, each, per, an hour, a day, when we see those words, we know that that indicates a variable. Okay, a variable means it is a repeating value. So such as if I have 4x, right, or I have 4 per day, that means that every time, every day that passes, it will increase by 4, right? Or we could also say it's taken away. I'm giving away 4 per day, and that would be negative 4. I'm taking away, I'm giving away 4 every day. So if we see something like that, each, per, an hour, a day, a week, a month, we know that's going to be a repeating value, which means it is going to be my variable. Fee, initial fee or flat fee, a one-time payment, the original amount, the beginning amount, the remaining amount. If we see those kinds of words, we know it's going to be a constant. Okay, we know it's going to be a constant. And a constant means that it only occurs one time. Okay, it's only going to occur one time. Now here's the great thing. We box in our equal signs. Okay? Variables, what I want you to do is I want you to underline them. That way we know that they are variables. Constants, I want you to circle them. So we circle constants. Underline variables, box in operations, circle constants. Okay, moving on. So let's work through this first example. All right. So I have Andy's rental car charges an initial fee of $20 plus an additional $30 per day to rent a car. Buddy's rental car charges an initial fee of $36 plus an additional $28 per day. For what number of days is the total cost charged by the companies the same? Okay, so what we're trying to figure out here, right? What is the question asking? It's asking for what number of days is the total cost charged by the companies the same? So we're trying to figure out, right? Remember, every time we see the same, we need to box it in. That means equal. So we're trying to figure out when the companies will charge the same amount. So we're trying to figure out when company A, Andy's, is going to be the same or equal to company B, Buddy's. So we're trying to figure out when Andy's is the same as Buddy's. So we're going to look at Andy's first. Oh, one more thing before I forget. What we're trying to find is we're trying for what number of days. So how many days until A will be equal to B? That means days is going to be my variable X. Or you can make it whatever you want. You make it D for days, right? Whatever you want. So I'm going to use X in this case. Every time I see days in my word problem, I'm going to put in X. So Andy's rental car charges an initial fee of $20. Well, dude, there's some key words. Initial fee. Initial fee means that this $20 is going to be a constant. It is a one-time payment. All right? So on Andy's side, on the left side, I'm going to start with 20 because it's just a one-time constant, right? Not attached to a variable. Plus, oh, there's an operation, right? That means I'm going to be adding something to that 20. An additional $30 per day. Every time we see per, that is a variable. And every time we see day, that's what my X represents. X is the number of days. So every day that goes by, the price for Andy's rental will increase by another $30. So to do that, after one day it'd be $30, after 2 days it'd be 60, 3 days it'll be 90, so on and so forth. So if it's increasing like that, then we say, write that as 30 times X. That's Andy's side. We're done with Andy's side. So let's put my equal sign. Now we're going to work on Buddy's side. Buddy's rental car charges an initial fee, keyword, initial fee of 36. It means $36 is my constant. Plus, there's an operation for me, meaning I'm going to be adding to that 36 an additional 28 per day. We see per, we know that's a variable. Every time we see day, we need to put in X, meaning days are my variables. So that would be increasing now by $28 for every day that passes. So we would write that as 28 times X. And that's all it is for writing the equation, guys. We'll go over solving it here in a moment. Alright, but that's all we need to do to write the equation. So this looks very similar to the problems we've been working on lately, right? We have a constant plus or minus a variable is equal to a constant plus or minus a variable. So that looks just like the equations we've been working on, right? So majority of the time, 99% of the time, when working with what we're working with this year, your equations are going to look something like this. So let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to number 1. Write the equation for each problem and solve. So number 1, we have Peppy Pets charges a flat fee of $15 plus $3 per hour to keep a dog during the day. Happy Hounds charges a flat fee of $21 plus $1 per hour. For how many hours is the total fee charged by the companies the same? So again, we are trying to figure out when the total for Peppy Pets is the same as Happy Hounds. So we're trying to figure out when Peppy Pets is equal to Happy Hounds. So we're going to work with Peppy Pets first. So let's read through Peppy Pets. They charge a flat fee. Oh, there's my key words. Flat fee, meaning it is a constant. So I'm going to circle my flat fee of $15. So I'm going to have 15 plus, great, there's my operation, meaning we're adding to it, $3 per hour. Every time we see per, we need to put a variable. Underline it. Okay, now my variable itself, it says for how many hours. So how many hours? That means X is my unknown. My unknown is the number of hours. So every time we see hour or hours, I want to put an X there. So that's $3 per hour. Per meaning to multiply. So 3 times X. So we say plus 3 times X, or 3X. Happy Hounds charges a flat fee. There's that keyword I'm looking for again for my constant. So $21 is my constant. Plus $1 per hour. So we're going to take $1 per hour. Okay, that means that's my variable. Per, right? X hour is my X. So I would say 1 times X, or we could just say it as plus X. There's no reason for me to put the 1 in front because it's invisible, right? So you can put the 1 in front if you want to. But if you're working with a multiple choice problem, right, this is what your answer will look like. They're not going to put a 1 in front of the X. It'll look just like this. Alright, so we need to get used to writing that way. And just remember that there's still an invisible 1 in front of that X. Or H, whatever variable you use for it. Okay, let's take a look at number 2. Okay, Sandy is upgrading her internet service. Fast Internet charges $60 for installation and $50.45 per month. Quick Internet has free installation but charges $57.95 per month. So here's what I want y'all to do. I'm going to give y'all a couple minutes. I want you to go ahead and try to write the equation yourself. Once you've done so, send it to me in the chat privately so that only I can see it. Alright? So go ahead. I'll give y'all a couple minutes to do that. So we're trying to figure out when fast is equal to quick internet. Right? So we're going to look at fast internet. They charge $60 for installation. Right? When we install something, we usually only have to install it one time. So therefore, if it's a one-time thing, it'd be 60. So we're going to start with 60. Okay. Then we have to $50.45 per month. Month being my variable. So we would add that 50.45x. Now, quick internet has free installation. Well, if it's free, that means the installation is 0. Now, I could put the 0 here. But to be honest with you, there's really no reason for me to have that. But for now, for purposes' sakes, I'm going to leave it there. I would add to that because they're charging, right? So we're adding $57.95 per month, month being my X. That is my variable because of the per. And we say 57.95 times X. So we could rewrite that as 60 plus 50.45x equals 57.95x. Okay. So here's my challenge to y'all. I want y'all to go ahead, go through these 3 problems. So the example, problem 1 and problem 2. I want you to solve them. Okay? Tomorrow we will go over them. I'm probably going to ask for a few of y'all to solve them for me and give me an answer. Okay, I want to see what answers y'all got for those 3 problems. So that's going to be your little homework for tonight. I'm going to post the warm-ups later today.